Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Check. Testing. Testing. Asparagus. Falafel. Help. Okay. Testing. Okay. Okay. Hello everybody, and welcome to Henry's Kitchen live stream, where today we're going to be making Henry's Granapplegurt melons. Granapplegurt is a combination of several words. You've got granola in there, apples, and yogurt. And we're going to be putting those inside our melons. I've got a couple of announcements to make. Some of you have been concerned about my illness. Actually, I don't think anybody was, but just in case you wanted an update on that, I'm feeling better. I'm on an antibiotic. It turned out I had a sinus infection. The doctor said it was some kind of bacterial thing. I doubt it had anything to do with ingesting any of the food that we were eating here on the stream, but it's not impossible. Every now and then you might miss a step in the preparation method and you can get like an amoeba or something. If you swallow an amoeba, it's okay, but if you inhale it, it can lead to a sinus infection. So it could be that when I was eating it, I might have sniffled like that and then an amoeba went into my nose. But you shouldn't have to worry about any of that stuff as long as you keep preheating everything and working on your hygiene. So anyway, that's underway. I shouldn't be coughing quite as much. Also, I have a new computer. I don't know if you can tell. I don't know if I'm going to stick with this webcam, but what's nice about it is I'll be able to start playing some games from this point on. And we'll start doing that. I might do that a little bit today, but also on Thursday night, I'm going to be playing a game called Played Up with my new friends, Style Cramps. Style Cramps has a podcast you can check out, and a few others. So we're gonna have some songs and some games, and maybe even some yeah, just songs and games, I guess. Maybe some cooking, but probably not. That's tomorrow night. But today, we've got a lot to do. We've got a lot of songs, and we've got some games, and we're gonna definitely be doing some cooking. But I tried to choose a dish that we weren't gonna have to turn on the oven for, because it's very hot. We're in the last days of summer here where I am, and we're having a heat wave, so it's just a miserable time for everybody, no matter how you look at it. And adding an oven to the situation is just going to make it that much worse. So, well, the summertime's over, and it's time to start celebrating.
Oh, hi.
By making some something with your leftover apples. So let's talk about apples for a second here. Can you hear me okay? Shane Yes says it's pretty bad in Texas too. Yeah, I've been there, and you guys also have a lot of humidity there too. That's rough. Let's see, you've been talking about a heat wave for so long it might as well be a heat tsunami. That's from Zodbane. Yeah, I'm not sure if heat tsunami is a word, but it sure should be. That's a good way to describe it. It's a catastrophe of heat. So let's get into Granapplegurt. I'm pretty sure I invented the word Granapplegurt. You can try Googling it, but I'm pretty sure it's a Henry's Kitchen original creation. So here we go.
Okay.
Whether you want to take advantage of the low price of apples at the grocery store, you're receiving too many apples in the farm share, or you went overboard with apple picking. Having too many apples is actually a great problem to have. Trying to think how to operate this. Okay. To make it less overwhelming for you, though, I wanted to share some of my favorite tips and recipes to help you use your apples. Just to let you know, I'm actually combining I don't know if you guys remember my famous dish, Grandma's Yogurty Delicious Melons, but you can see those on YouTube. I'm combining that recipe with an apple sauce recipe that I found online. So that's what I'm reading from now. Apples are again guaranteed winner in my house. And this isn't my house, this is whoever wrote this' house. Pretty much all year round, but when they are at their peak in the late summer and fall, we are completely apple crazy in my house. Yeah, again, that's not my house. In fact, I think I might have a problem. I'm pretty sure that I'm addicted to apple picking. That's problematic. Every late summer, I am overjoyed when my farm share enters into apple season. Who the fuck writes this stuff? But even with the 6 pounds of apples that I get from the farm share each week, I'm still powerfully drawn to apple picking, which means by late September or early October, I end up with a fridge packed with apples. So this person's just some kind of psycho. It feels like a seasonal rite of passage. It's a family outing that I refuse to pass up, and that even my tween and teen sons still enjoy. Why is this a problem, you might ask? Well, it's admittedly a good problem to have. The reality is the result of my apple picking enthusiasm is a fridge packed with apples that I can then have to use up or store right when our schedules are at their busiest. So this person likes apples, I guess. Let's get started. We're going to start with the applesauce. Let me show you some of our ingredients here. We've got obviously our apples, and these are apples that I've had sitting around for a little while. Oh look, it looks like we have a visitor. I know a lot of you have been concerned about my cat, roast beef. He's going to be chilling with us while we do this, so that's kind of nice. Just always happy to know that he's still alive and kicking. Anyway, so here we go. Ah, shit. Oh, come on. Hold on. I was trying to make a nice little display of it, but I wound up dropping the damn thing in the yogurt. This is our cinnamon. It's a very autumnal spice, which we're going to be using a lot over the fall, but might as well get started. You might have heard of the pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks. They mostly use cinnamon. That's the secret ingredient. Okay, so I've got our Greek yogurt, which is kind of lumpy. I've got our apples, which have been around for a little bit. I've got some brand new melons. Let's go ahead and peel these things off. I don't know why they put it right on there. It seems like it's not sanitary. But yeah, I don't even think you can get that off. Oh yeah, okay. All right, so we've got that, our cinnamon, and also some type of granola situation. In this case, I've got something called Alter Eco. It's granola situation. And that's really it, guys. So let's start by making our applesauce. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move all of this shit forward. And we're going to put this over here like so. And we're going to start working on our applesauce. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to chop our apples, but it says that it doesn't want them in slices. We have to use we have to make them sort of chunks. So I think we could probably pull that off. Okay. I read an article not too long ago about a native tribe, I believe in Africa, called the Maasai. And it was fascinating because apparently they eat human blood and live in these huts made out of basically cow shit, for lack of a better word. I guess there probably could have been some other better words, but okay. There's that. And you don't have to worry about the seeds because we're going to be blending it. And there's nothing wrong with eating apple seeds anyway. It's probably a little bit like eating sunflower seeds. Okay, so these are getting pretty chopped. This apple looks kind of nasty. I don't think I'm going to use it. Keep chopping. Now I just noticed in here that it says that it wants us to cook these or something. It says, let's see here. Place the chopped apples in a large pot, preferably one with a heavy bottom. Sprinkle cinnamon on top and pour in the water. So we need 1/4 cup of water. I didn't know we were gonna have to do all this shit, but all right, so we're gonna get some water. Got a cup here. I'm gonna pour in what looks like about 1/4 cup. And we're gonna put these apples in there. So remember, this recipe for apple sauce is not mine. That's why I don't really know what I'm doing here, but we're gonna eventually get into the Granapplegurt part, melons, which is mine. I lost a couple of apple slices here, but I think that's okay. We have plenty. It wants us to preferably sprinkle cinnamon on top. Get some of that excess yogurt off of the cinnamon here. Can you guys hear me okay? Help! Help! Okay. Let's see here. So we're going to sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on the top. You don't want to do too much. If you eat too much cinnamon in one sitting, you actually can choke to death. So we do not want that. There we go. So we're going to pour it in the water. We're going to cook this on a medium-high for about 15 minutes or until the apples have gotten soft. So while that's cooking, we actually have a lot of other work to do. But we can also get into a little music too. Maybe I'll go ahead and do one song request here. Because there's been quite a few on the Discord. And I want to apologize to the folks that are naming songs that I've never heard before. I will eventually get to all of them, but it's been a very, very difficult couple of, well, several years, I guess. But this is one from someone named Foolish. Wanted to hear this song from CCR, which is called I think I'm going to go ahead and cover that. This is a song called Bad Moon Rising. It's not a very happy song, although it's sung like a happy song usually, but maybe we'll try a little bit of a different spin on it. I see a bad moon rising. I see trouble up ahead. I see earthquakes and lightning. I see bad times today. So don't go around tonight, 'cause it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. And then maybe we can kick up the tempo a little bit for this next part. I hear hurricanes are blowing. I know the end is coming soon. I fear rivers overflowing. I hear the voice of rage and ruin. So don't go around tonight, it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. There's a bad moon on the rise. Alright, that was someone named Foolish who wanted to hear that song. Let's check in on the roast beef cam here. I think that song kind of perked him up a little bit. It's a very distant shot, which I think is kind of cinematic. Anyway. Gonna try to get something to stir this with. The idea, I guess, is that we want to get them soft. It's actually smelling pretty good with the cinnamon. Okay, let's go ahead and cut our melons. It's hard to try to change this camera at the same time with the fuck. Zoom out a little bit here. Still got a little bit of a residual cough there. Okay, so let's just choose one melon. What I have here is I have a cantaloupe and a honeydew. It doesn't matter what kind of melons you got. You could even use watermelon if you want. I chose these two because they're similar in shape, so it's harder to get mixed up. But what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to cut it evenly across. So obviously I'm not going to cut it this way. I'll probably cut it more like this way. After you've started it, you should be able to just sort of break it apart. So now, the problem is we've got all this kind of shit inside. So we're going to just scoop that out. Maybe we could put this on a little plate so as not to get things too messy here. Just get all those seeds out. You can eat apple seeds, but I don't know, these kind of look pretty nasty to eat, so I don't think I'm going to mess with it. I've already had enough infections and stuff from the kitchen. I don't need to take my chances with honey melon seeds or whatever the fuck these are. I'm sorry about the language every now and then. The kitchen is a very difficult place, and a lot of bad stuff happens there, and every now and then there is language that will happen, and I apologize for anyone who's sensitive to that kind of thing, but it's just sort of one of those realities of the kitchen. Okay. Let's try to round it out a little bit more, make it look kind of nice. If you want to see what we're going for, by the way, we're going to end up with something a little bit like this. Okay. I think that's good. Maybe a little more scooped out. All right. Let's set that one aside. Now we got to do this one. Boy, it looks like we're probably not even going to finish this in time for our 15-minute apple situation. One of the problems is this knife sucks, but I don't like to use very sharp knives in the kitchen because it's just too damn easy to hurt yourself or a loved one. I don't know how I would feel if I somehow stabbed my cat or something like that while I was doing this. Well, I know how I would feel. I would feel terrible. Let's keep going here. If you're doing this at home, I'd like to know how yours is going. You can send pictures of your food on the Discord for Henry's Kitchen. I always like to see how young aspiring chefs are doing thanks to my tutelage. Okay. Now, that's 2 of these things. Unfortunately, we've got another one, but I'm hoping that this one doesn't have as much shit inside of it. Let's see. Yeah, there's a little bit in there, but not too bad. This one actually smells a little better. I can smell things again, probably thanks to the antibiotic, which is great, because for a long time I wasn't able to smell, which is bad because your sense of smell is actually going to be one of your biggest allies when you're in the kitchen. You want to be able to smell if something's burning. You want to be able to smell if something is toxic before you put it in your mouth. These are very important skills to have. I'm getting real tired of doing this. Starting to sweat a little bit. It's because it's so hot. But again, this is probably one of the more drought friendly or heat wave friendly dishes that you're going to have. Let's check in on roast beef here. So many fucking seeds in here, man. It's like I'm gonna have nightmares about this. Okay, I think we've scooped that one out. Now we got one more. I think they have actual tools that you can use to decore your melons. And if you're worried about wasting all this stuff, you can use it to water your plants, or you can put it out for coyotes or bird food or something. Okay. It's biodegradable, which is good. All right. I think we got it, just about. I'm going to try to hollow this out a little bit more, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using these melons as sort of makeshift bowls, if you will. So they need to be a little bit hollow, but I mean, you know, I don't know if they think that we're gonna sit here for an hour doing this kind of shit. But okay, so you should have in front of you 4 halves of some type of melon hollowed out into sort of a makeshift bowl form. And if you do not have this, I would suggest that you want to go back earlier in the video and see if there's some part that you might have fucked up. It's definitely very messy in here, which is problematic for sure. Godzilla 8939, can you make a taco bowl this way? I would imagine you probably could. Hacklin says, try typing Hacklin for free guacamole. Great. Oh shit, I forgot about our thing here. I just want to check on it. That's hot. Yeah, it's getting softer. This is working. That's too hot, man. Okay. Wiener Bart says that's what she said. That might have been a reference to something that was said a long time ago, but I don't, unless it's that's too hot, maybe. The Wayno says, have you ever washed your apron? I'm not sure that I have. It's been about 10 years. I like to think it's kind of interesting to think that every single dish that's ever been made by Henry's Kitchen there's probably DNA of it on this apron somewhere. And Mom 140, don't forget to preheat the oven. Yes. I am not using the oven today. I refuse because it's very hot. So we're not going to be using the oven, but if you're in one of these cold places, you can feel free to do it. I know a lot of people, it's midnight or something where they're watching. And I think in people in Australia, they're in the southern hemisphere, so they're having winter right now, I believe is how it works. Everyone type Forson says, if I throw a cantaloupe into a pool, does it become a watermelon? Henry? Well, I guess the reason it's called watermelon is because it's got more water content. If you throw anything into the pool, it's going to increase in water. So I'd say there's a good possibility, but I'm not a virologist. Kairoslavius says, do you think that by eating plastic, I'm saving the... uh-oh, it went away for a sec. I'm saving turtles so they don't have to eat the plastic. Yes. Be very careful out there, guys. If you're using plastics, just every time you look at the thing that you're using, just know that a turtle is going to choke on that shit. And if you can come up with any kind of alternative that's degradable, like cardboard or whatever, choose that. I always say. Astro Wrath the Grim says, I don't have melons, can I use a human head? Hoping that's a joke. That Russian guy, I grill plastic in motor oil so it's edible. Maybe you can try this dish as well. That sounds interesting. Okay. Alexa, how much time left on the timer?
There are no timers set.
I guess I didn't set a timer. Does anybody know how long it's been that I've had the apples out there? Alexa, volume 9. Alexa, set timer for 3 minutes.
3 minutes, starting now.
Okay, we're going to start a timer there. Meantime, let's get ready for our apples here. So we've done some pretty good work with these. I'm going to throw this shit away. Give me a second. And maybe we could put our melons on top of that plate the best that we can. That's not going to work. Let's move this over. It's very heavy. Now let's get ready for the next phase. Looks like what they want us to do is we've cooked our apples and hopefully they've become soft. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to puree them into our immersion blender. We don't have that. We do have a regular blender. So, sorry, buddy. Uh-oh. Okay, so we've got our blender here. And this is where our apples are going to go. We want to puree the apples into an apple sauce using a immersion blender, food processor blender, which is what we have, or a food mill. Being mindful of how hot the apples are. Yeah, try to always be mindful of your apples. And then we're gonna, we should be done actually with the applesauce portion at that point, which is very nice because I'm kind of looking forward to getting on with this. Okay, so let's go ahead now. And Alexa, how much time left on the timer?
You have 30 seconds left on your 3-minute timer.
Alexa, cancel timer. It's starting to smell weird, so I'm going to go ahead and...
3-minute timer canceled.
Going to use an oven mitt this time. Something weird happened. Fuck. The apples look good, but I think I burned the pan or something. Because it smells like burned something or other. Let's go ahead and put these down here. What the fuck? It's like black on the bottom of this thing. Maybe I was supposed to use more water. I don't know what they're thinking, saying use 1/4 cup of water. That's not enough. But we're gonna do this. Yeah, look at this. It's all stuck together and everything. All right, so I'm gonna mostly be using the ones that are not stuck to the bottom of the pan. These, I might have to get a whole new pan here. I don't know what the hell that's about. But I'm not gonna let it bug us because we've got a delicious meal coming up. And actually, there's a lot of very famous discoveries that were made by accident. The tarte tatin, which is an upside down apple pie, was made by 2 nuns in a nunnery. They were trying to make apple pie, but one of them dropped it and they put it in upside down and burned it. And then they took it out and ate it, and they were like, this isn't as good as apple pie, but it's still works. And I think that's kind of what we're going to be doing here. Also famously, there was a pill, a Swedish pill that was being clinically tested for testicular cancer, and they found that when they were examining the patients, they became aroused, and that's how they actually discovered Viagra. And I don't think they ever pursued the testicular cancer cure after that, because they made a ton of money doing that. So let's go ahead and puree these like it says. It says puree the apples. So there's always going to be like 6 of these. They all basically do the same thing, but
Okay.
oh, you got to turn it on. sure why it's not really working there. Maybe it's already sort of pureed. I'd like it to be a little more pureed than this. I might need to add a little bit of water, actually. That's probably the secret. That's probably the secret with this whole thing. I notice when you put water in it, beef is looking very chill, which is good because a lot of times these loud noises sort of piss him off. There we go. Maybe we can set it so that we've got our permanent check in on him. Okay, let's see what the hell we've got that we just made here. Looks like we've got our applesauce. Now what we need is to put it in a put it on a plate, maybe, or we'll put it on a bowl. Got a bowl here. Let's see how we're doing. Starting to have an issue with too much stuff here. Yeah. This is basically applesauce. That's what we have. If you're doing this at home, you should be looking at applesauce. If you're not, then something went wrong. I'd kind of wish there was a little bit more, but that's basically what we have. I'm going to do a little taste test. Yeah. Weird thing happened with the pan, and I unfortunately think that kind of flavored it, but all good. Let's see a couple of your questions and comments here. Hooligan says, why do you wear shoes inside? That's a good question. I know that people in other countries don't wear them. A lot of people here in America don't wear them. Well, it could be the fact that I'm in Southern California and there's very rarely rain, and rain is one of the reasons that people usually take their shoes off. But also, I don't know, I have a lot of nasty stuff on my floors. If I walk around barefoot, I step on an onion seed or something and I've got a bleeding toe. Hacklin says, I don't have any melons, so I asked my neighbor's wife if I could use hers. She called the police on me. Yeah, you got to be careful how you ask for stuff like that. Half an hour 4. Hey, Henry, can you do the pose of this emote?
Okay.
In real life. Oh. Sorry, I'm going to have to see what that is. Because the emote doesn't come up on the particular thing that I had, but I want to see what you're talking about. Oh yeah, and then it's not set up with the emotes and stuff, so maybe ask me that another time and we'll get to that. But meanwhile, let's get back to the next order of business here. we've got our apple sauce. So that's the apple part of our Granapplegurt. Now, what we need to do is start filling up our melons. Let's bring them back into the picture here. Now I'll be consulting the Henry's Kitchen cookbook, where I have the recipe all made out. Grandma's yogurty delicious melons. Probably the most common question that I get when I'm traveling is if I want to buy drugs. From salad to salsa to fruit, I want to show you some great refreshing ideas that you can make with your sweet and succulent melons. Start by cutting a cantaloupe and scoop out all the insides and discard. We did that. These are going to be used as bowls for yogurt, obviously. Now we're going to strain our yogurt water. So we're just going to sort of set our other ingredients aside for now, and we're going to strain the yogurt. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to use a colander or coriander or whatever, and we're literally just going to pour our yogurt into it. And what that should do is it's going to get some of that water dripping underneath it. This is actually normally a very time-consuming process. You want to leave it there for 1 hour. We're not going to do that, obviously, but maybe we can leave it there for a couple of minutes and we can do another song request. Have some interesting ones here. Further in the vein of, I guess, kind of dark and depressing songs, which seems to be most of what we're getting on the Discord for song suggestions. This one comes to us from someone named Cormac. Cormac wanted to hear this classic song from the 90s that I'm going to do the best that I can. I seem to remember it playing a lot on the radio. In my eyes, indisposed, in disguise as no one knows, hides the face, lies the snake, the sun in my disgrace, boiling heat, summer stench, beneath the black sky looks dead. Call my name through the cream, and I'll hear you scream again. Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Won't you come? Something like that. Again, that was a request that came to us from Cormac, so thanks, Cormac. Let's see how we're doing with our yogurt straining. Still not a lot of action going on here, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and skip to the next part of the process, which is after we have strained, usually about an hour, pour the yogurt from the strainer into the bowl directly below and stir until the yogurt is combined with the water. So we're just going to basically pour our yogurt into the bowl and stir. Let me get something good to stir with here. Maybe I'll use my whisker. Get it nice and mixed up with the water there. So as it turns out, I don't think we really lost anything by not waiting an hour for that. And I'm even wondering if I did that correctly. But let's take a look at some of your comments here. Hoi Polloi says, do you ever wash your dishes or do you throw them out and get new ones each time? I have my favorite dishes that I use. You can see I always use the green bowls, but I do throw them out sometimes because there's a 99-cent store around the corner where you can get them. I also have some green dishes that I like, and I'm actually making my whiskey barrels as a gift for a wedding. I'm going to be showing up to a wedding, and I thought if I make my whiskey barrels, I could put them in a box, and then just sort of, you know, tell people to celebrate life. Okay, so we've got our yogurt. Let's see what is next on here. Okay, so we're literally just gonna start filling up our melon holes with yogurt mixture, making sure to keep yogurt inside the melon hole, not overflowing to the floor. So this part's gonna be a little bit tricky, especially since these melons are huge and they're kind of a pain in the ass. So let's just focus on one at a time here. This looks like a good one. It's got a couple seeds, but not too many. So I'm literally just going to be scooping our yogurt into this. So now we've had the apple in Granapplegurt and the yogurt, or the gurt. We want to have enough for 4 of these, so we're not going to use too much. But I'm sure you know what the next recipe is going to be. And that's going to be our granola. Try to get it in the hole. Okay, and now let's add some of this. Maybe add a little bit more. Okay, that's one. That looks pretty good. If you want to compare it to our goal, and I'm not really sure which one that they have there. I literally just put into Google, I put beautiful melons, and a lot of irrelevant stuff came up, but that one was one of the nicer looking ones. So I think we're in the ballpark for sure. Let's do that with each one of these. So now we've got our honeydew. I'm going to literally scoop some of our gurt, if you will. Add some of our applesauce. And then add in our granola. Set that, well, you know, we could probably stir this a little bit. I probably wish I had a little bit more yogurt, actually. Let's do this one. Running very low on yogurt. One of the reasons that I chose to do something with yogurt is because there's a popular theory that when you take an antibiotic like I am right now, you're killing off good bacteria as well. And yogurt is called a probiotic. So that means that a probiotic is, a probiotic is good bacteria. So it's literally the opposite of an antibiotic, like pro-abortion and anti-abortion. Probably not the best example to bring up, but there we go. All right, so, oh, we have another one. Oh, that's right, I forgot I have some more yogurt in here. We're going to be taking all the yogurt that we can muster up here and putting it into this last one. This is a fine breakfast item. It's got a lot of nutrients in there. And apples have fiber in it, and then these melons have fiber as well. And then the granola is going to give you your more fiber, I guess. And yogurt is, I don't know if that's protein or something along those lines. Stir it up a little bit. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to refrigerate these. The question really is, how do we do that? And I think what we're going to do is we're going to put them in this bowl. They'll have a little bit of yogurt on the bottom of them. But we're just going to literally pile them up, I guess. And find some space. But you want them nice and cold. This is a cold breakfast dish. Oh. There's a lot of shit in the fridge there. We're going to leave that in there maybe 5 minutes. Alexa, how much time is left on the timer?
There are no timers set.
I mean, Alexa, set timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
Mirdath says, since you're using your melon as a bowl, couldn't you just replace all your bowls with melons? Yeah, but I think that they have a shelf life. But you're right, as somebody asked earlier, if I throw them away anyway, what's the point of not using melons as bowls? That's pretty great. And you know what? You can actually eat, they're edible, and you can throw them away and not feel bad about it because they're biodegradable. Let's see, that's Martian Canine. It was my friend Daisy's birthday yesterday. Would you sing Nobody's Birthday for her? That's a great idea. Let's go ahead and do that. This song goes out to Daisy, who's having a birthday today, and we at Henry's Kitchen know that birthdays are probably about the most painful holiday ever, because it signifies that your body's getting older and you're marching closer to that great unknown at the end of the rainbow. So in order to cheer Daisy up a little bit, we're going to do a song for her called Nobody's Birthday by Jose Suicidio. It's nobody's birthday, no need for candles on the cake. It's nobody's birthday. It was just a big mistake. It's nobody's birthday. No need to uncork the wine, 'cause it's nobody's birthday but mine. It's nobody's birthday. No tail on the donkey today. No need to celebrate being alive when your dreams get washed away. It's nobody's birthday. No need for presents at this time, 'cause it's nobody's birthday but mine. There'll be no balloon animals, no Chuck E. Cheese, no animatronic singing dogs. There'll be none of this for me. And don't give me any fucking birthday cakes. I don't need your sympathy. The Hallmark stores are all closed and shit. There'll be none of this for me. Nobody's birthday. No need for presents at this time, 'cause it's nobody's birthday but mine. That goes out to Daisy. That streamer has a big knob.
Okay.
Asks if probiotics are good or antibiotics bad. I guess by that logic it probably would be. I'm not sure about that. That might be a good question for Google, but that's a good point. I always like to say that there's no stupid questions, there's only stupid people. And that was a good question. And on 140 says yes and no, but maybe. And What the Duck says true. Mr. Blister, are you a Henry from a different timeline, or is this another lost episode that someone is posting to keep the dream alive? No, this is really me, everybody. I'm answering questions in real time. My cat, roast beef, is still alive. If you hear me every now and then say help, I've explained this before, that's a sound check. There's certain sounds that you want to do during the sound check. You want to test sibilance, which would be the S. So I say asparagus. And then you want to test what are called plosives, which is P-pops. So help has a great one. Help. I'm not actually needing help. Sometimes you never know, but in this case, let me make sure I turned off the oven there. We have another song request here from this one comes to us from Purple as a Fruit. It's gonna be a tough one, but I don't know if it's a copyright thing, but I wasn't able to find this because it's Michael Jackson. The song is Billie Jean, but I found this really slow version by Chris Cornell, who I think is the same one who gave us Black Hole Sun. So it might be a little bit on the downside, but I'm going to do the best that we can. She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said I don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who will dance on the floor, 'em. in the round. Sorry. She said, I am the one who will dance on the floor in the round. She told me her name was Billie Jean as she caused a scene. Then every head turned with eyes that dreamed of being the one who will dance on the floor in the round. Well, people always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love. Be careful what you do before a lie becomes the truth. Oh, Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who says that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She says I am the one, but the kid is not my son. Okay, so that was a nice song, and that was requested to us by Cormac. No, that was from Purple as a Fruit. Sorry to make that mistake there. Okay, before we take out I almost said take out the trash, but take out the melons, we're gonna do something very special. I'd like to rely on the chat here for a second, because I am gonna try to test this new system just a little bit to play a game that's been requested quite a bit, and we'll see if it works with the current settings here. But first I want to say some very special thank yous to some very important people. Number one, I want to thank the moderators: Dingo Bop, Flopcan, Dom Beef, Hottest Bear, Do Dingle, Dogoggy, Dr. Flanges, and Bacchus. And I also want to thank Sir Doom, who introduced me to Daisy Blossom and Bumble Vision and the LGX, who have all been a great community and friends to bounce stuff off on. They have more experience with Twitch than I have. Other honorary mentions are Melon95 and Pilskman. I also want to thank, I always want to thank Nim, because Nim is the one who got me on Twitch. Thanks, Nim, and hopefully we'll be doing some more gaming stuff in the near future. Also want to thank Brian W. Foster for being so supportive of the Henry's Kitchen live streams, and a lot of these streamers who have been showing Henry's Kitchen episodes on their streams, like Moon Moon, there's Alexa Stop, Forsen, XQC, and many others. Thank you, and very special thank you to a user named named Quanto, who is the one that, when you see me transition from one thing to another, I have the Henry's Kitchen official transitions, and that's pretty amazing to me that Quanto was able to put that together and make me feel like I'm at home at Henry's Kitchen. And so it's been quite a journey over the last several months, and it takes a village, as they say. And I've gotten a lot of help from a lot of people. So right now, I'd like to try this game here, because I've tried it before with my Mac system and it didn't work. So we're going to see if it works on this computer. This is a game that was requested by Maybay Support on the Discord. Maybay Support wanted to see me play this game, and I tried to play it, and it's actually pretty great. But the question is, am I able to stream it? And it could be internet issues that I need to address or whatever. So I'm going to be relying for you guys. God of War sounds awesome, but I'm not going to be playing that one. There's some music playing here. Trying to think if it would. Yeah, I still have to work out audio type stuff, but so the game is called Cooking Simulator. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. And I'm going to push new game. I'm very good at the game, but I want to make sure that I can stream it okay.
Okay.
It's still sort of a new setup for me and sort of rudimentary. So if for any reason this looks like it's not working, please let me know and I'll stop. We can do more songs. Well, and some of it might be my inability. Omega Fat Crab says it looks good, so thank you. Let's try moving around a little bit. Is this working? Okay. All right. Style Cramps says, ooh, much better. Style Cramps is the one I'll be playing Played Up with tomorrow evening. Good. All right. So we're in some sort of a kitchen, obviously, and it's got your standard stuff in here. Looks like it's about 10:15. We've got a couple of recipes here. You can use the laptop to pin a recipe. There's a laptop over here. I believe you have to sit down. Recipe manager. Let's go ahead and make tomato soup. All right. So it looks like we need chicken broth, 700 milliliters. Okay, so we're gonna get a pot. And chicken broth, I believe you get from, well, first, shit, sorry. This isn't the game's fault, this is me here. We're gonna put that down. Kind of hard to put it down, but whatever. All right, I'm gonna come back. We're gonna get broth from somewhere. Chicken broth, there we go. And we want 700 milliliters. Astrorath the Grim says I can bring up the graphics settings. Okay, I'll do that, but if this is tolerable for now, we're still getting our feet wet. So, all right, I'm gonna need to put this down, put this on here. There we go. And start pouring in some broth. Oh, you want to tilt the bottle here. Is there something? Oh, I think maybe it's upside down or something. You know what? I think I'm going to make tomato soup. Okay. Oh wait, that's the one that we already said we were going to do. You know what? Let's just for now, I'm going to do more of this. I got really good at this, but now I seem to have forgotten because I got so into the technical thing. I'm just going to grab some tomatoes. Let's get our board here. Just grab some fucking tomatoes and start cutting them up just to sort of show you how the thing works. Just grab like 4. Okay. I'm just going to show you a basic idea of what happens here. I'm going to grab a knife, kind of like what we did with our melons earlier. You can rotate it around. Just start cutting them up. Uh-oh, we're open for business. The fuck is that? Oh, okay. Looks like we have a customer. So we're gonna have to actually do some work here. We're gonna need that chicken broth. I don't know what happened there. Does anybody know why I wasn't able to get chicken broth in there? Shit. There we go. What did it say? 700 milliliters? I think that's what it was. Okay, we've got our chicken broth. 700 milliliters. We hit that dead on. We're going to need some salt. I left the fridge door open. Sorry about that. Let's get our salt here. How much salt did it say? Does anybody know? Shit. I'm gonna go over here. We need 12 grams of salt. Sorry, I kind of suck still, but that at least we got this thing going. All right. For salt. Now I already forgot. Oh, 12. I don't know how to let go of something without throwing it across the room. Okay. Pepper. All right, same amount of pepper. We got to do this fast. There's customers waiting. Alright, so now I think it's going to be tomatoes at some point. Cayenne pepper, geez, how much is that? 6 grams of cayenne pepper. That's actually quite a bit. Alright, I want to check in with you guys for a second here because I feel like I'm kind of getting away from what we're doing here, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's just a little stressful. See if I have any comments. Ryan B says, you're going to do some real cooking today. I'd like to come back for that later, if so, my man. Hey, that's cool. It looks like you just joined us. I've been cooking all morning. Dark Stormy Night says, no, you're doing great. That's nice to hear. Sahara Destruction, good job, Henry. That Russian guy says change category. What's change category? You can change what category it is? Okay, anyway, we're almost there. We're almost done with our tomato soup. It looks like we need 960 grams of tomatoes. I'm just going to take the tomatoes that we have here and I'm going to pour them in. I got most of them in there. All right. Now I think we want to turn this thing on here. Start boiling. Okay, so that's cooking. Boil for 60 seconds. Blend. Yeah, there's a bunch of other shit. We're done here. I'm gonna get a plate from somewhere. These plates? No. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna get a bowl. Basic bowl. And set it down. I think this is ready. Let's turn that off. Let's pour it into our bowl here. There we go. So now we just set it down here and we ring the bell. There's our tomato soup. Okay, so let's take a look at our stats here. The guest paid. Does anybody see what I'm supposed to do here? It looks like I did it perfect. So, all right, that's enough of that. We're gonna do more of the game there, but for now, I think we're done with that. We don't need to save that part of it. Okay, so I'm gonna take a look at some of your comments. Sorry I got kind of absorbed in that. 2 stars. Can't make everyone happy. Oh, was there 2 stars on there? That's too bad. Was it out of 2 stars? 2 out of 2 wouldn't be bad. Absolute ideal. How long did it take you to make the game? I didn't make that game, actually. I don't know how to make games. Okay. So yeah, Anon 140 says it must be bugged. It did feel a little bit like that. It felt like there was a lot of difficulty there that I didn't have before. Randy Bob Andlers 420. Henry, you're looking sharp today. Well, that's very nice of you to say. I don't feel it. I've got a sinus infection. I'm on antibiotics. Also, I'm cooking some weird shit. But I appreciate it. Astro Wrath the Grim says, don't be nervous. You're doing great. That's very nice of you. And Prims Kenny, if I'm good at cooking online, will I be good at cooking in real life? Yeah, I mean, it's called Cooking Simulator, so if you've never cooked before, you could probably get started on there. You notice when we were cutting our tomatoes, it was very similar to how we cut our melons. Speaking of our melons, I think it's time to pull out our Granapplegurt melons. If you're just joining us, we made Granapplegurt melons. That's granola, apple, and yogurt. And there was one person on there who didn't know that we were cooking the whole time. I guess sometimes people come in and out, and that's a little frustrating to me because, well, hopefully they can see it on the VOD or whatever afterward. But let's take a look at our Granapplegurt. By the way, Granapplegurt is my own creation. If somebody else in some other language has the word Granapplegurt, they probably got it by from Henry's Kitchen, but I don't think that they have. So let's clear out a little bit of space here. This is very heavy. It's actually hurting my wrist a little bit. Okay, let's just pick one and plate it real nice. Gonna have Granapplegurt for a whole week after this, I'll bet. Put it on this plate here. I wish I had a garnish of some sort like they had in the example photo. I'll see if I have anything green in the refrigerator. I'm not sure. Oh, you know what? It looks like I have just a little bit of basil. So we can put that in there as a garnish. And I think it's time to go ahead and, well, first, let's try to make this look as nice as possible. Maybe right there. And let's see how we're doing up against our example pick here. I'd say it looks almost identical. This is kind of amazing, actually. If you look at that, I mean, especially when we put the basil in there, I think it really sort of finalized it in a weird way. But let's go ahead and take a bite and see how we're feeling about this. Got a spoon here. I made kind of a mess here today, but and don't forget that you can eat the bowl. Probably need something a little sharper to eat the bowl. I think it works on some level. The applesauce was a bad idea because I followed the directions exactly, and then I wound up with a, I don't know if you can see here, but I'm pretty sure I damn near ruined this pot. Like, what the hell? And I think some of that flavor has gotten into my breakfast, and that kind of makes me mad. But other than that, I mean, the honeydew part is pretty good. It's just really hard to get your spoon into the honeydew. But if you can, then it's very rewarding. One last time, let's just do a nice little presentation of what we have here. These are the Henry's Kitchen Granapplegurt melons. Not to be confused with the yogurty delicious melons. These are Granapplegurt melons. And they probably would be better if I didn't go on the internet and get that crazy person's recipe for applesauce. So my apologies on that. But if you made Granapplegurt melons today, I hope yours came out as good as these. Feel free to show a picture of them on the Discord. That's always fun. And join us on there. There's it's the way that you'll know recipe ingredients ahead of time. It's also how you know about you know, song suggestions, recipe suggestions, game suggestions, and what have you. All right, Blurry Little Quest says this is probably your most edible dish. Way to go. Yeah, no, I'd say this is very edible. Quarter cup of water was a madman's idea. That's Godzilla 830929. Yeah, that's stupid. A quarter cup of water. It should have been, the whole thing should have been water and put apples in it. I don't know if that was a prank that they were doing or what. But Seth9609, let me see the dish. All right, we can show it to you one more time here. and what we were going for. Not too far off. I already ate the garnish, so we don't have that anymore, but I'd say we're in the ballpark at least. But, you know, I'll take it. I'm going to consider this sort of a win. And the nice thing is I've got Granapplegurt for the next several days, and it's going to fill up my bacteria. It's going to replace my bad bacteria with good bacteria. Astrorath Grim, when do I add the ground beef and lentils? I think that's a different... You don't have that today. That's a different... You might have been looking at the Discord for the previous week's recipe. Delinquent says, you missed the stream, but it looks good. Good, I'm glad to hear. Well, you can always check out these streams for a little while afterward. I'm trying to get to be a partner so that the streams stay up there longer, but I'm not really doing great in terms of that. In order to do that, I'd have to do a little bit more streaming, but we're working on it. So the next stream is going to be tomorrow night, Thursday night. We're going to play Played Up with Style Cramps. We're also going to do more song requests, and now that I have a little bit of time, I'm going to try to learn some of these really weird ones that I'm getting from people like Brother Man Bill. That's got a lot of words, but I'm going to do the best that I can on that one. And well, I just want to say thanks everybody for joining us here on Henry's Kitchen, and hopefully your Granapplegurt came out good, and hopefully you've got some nice melons for the next several days. And
Okay.
thanks, Cray Bob, and thanks to all the people that subscribed, and all the support, the amazing support that I've been getting from everybody. Thank you so much, and onward and upward, and let's put the summer behind us and let's start looking at fall, because there's a lot of fun things that happen in the fall. Okay, everybody. Thanks. Have a great rest of your week.